Hey Geeks and Gamers, and welcome to a, I guess I'm calling this an editorial thing. I just kind of wanted to sit down and give you my thoughts on a brand new game. A game that came out at the time of recording this like a week ago, I think. And I've been playing a lot of it, and it's just come as no surprise to what this game is. Big release for me. Hold on here. It is Earth Defense Force 6. There we go. Which I've been playing on my Steam Deck a lot. Now this game's been out in Japan for a while, but I just got a North American release, I think on the 25th of July. And it was definitely a game that I wanted to play. Now, if you don't know anything about me, or my gaming habits, or Turbo Zone, you should know that I'm a huge fan of Earth Defense Force. You can find all sorts of videos on this channel of reviews of different games in the series, of live streams, where I've live streamed me playing the different games in the series. Even in my channel banner, if you go to my channel and look up on the top banner, on the, I think it's on the left-hand side, there is two characters from Earth Defense Force right there on my channel banner. It's a big franchise for me. I love Earth Defense Force. So 6 is out, and I'll probably get around to reviewing it. I'll probably review it sometime down the road. The thing with Earth Defense Force games is that even when they come out and I play them, it takes me a while to get around to reviewing them because there's just so much game in all of them. I think whenever 5 came out, I bought it and it took me like 6 months to review it, and even by that point I haven't seen everything the game had to offer. So to do a review this soon to the game's release would be almost impossible, if not just my impressions basically. So I thought I would just give you my impressions. At this point I've played about 10 hours of the game. I am on mission 23, I think. And this game's big. For what I've seen online, what I saw on Google, the game has 150 missions, which is a lot. To put that into context, normally an Earth Defense Force game has its main missions and then 2 DLC packs. This game's main missions is bigger than most of like the last 2 Earth Defense Force games, base game and DLC packs combined. So like, I think like Earth Defense Force 4 with the DLC was like 120 missions altogether, and I forgot what 5 was, but this is the most a base Earth Defense Force game has ever had. It's 150 missions, which is amazing and terrifying because I've spent 10 hours and I'm at mission 23 and I've already had a few that have kicked my ass, but that's super exciting because that means I have a ton of game to play. Plus obviously they have the things where they're going to release DLC battle packs, 2 of them, that'll add more missions. I think they're usually about 15 to 20 missions that they release. And I'll buy those and play those too. And yeah, I just kind of want to talk about my experience so far with the game, let you know if it's worth it. If you're an Earth Defense Force fan, maybe you've never played Earth Defense Force before. What is Earth Defense Force? Maybe we should answer that question first. Earth Defense Force is Earth Defense Force is the most video game a video game has ever been. It's literally a game that drops you, the player, into an environment, usually a city, sometimes like a countryside, a beach, whatever environment they throw you in, a cave every once in a while, and they swarm you with enemies and they say, survive, bitch. And that's basically how the missions in Earth Defense Force games work. You have different types of enemies. The giant bugs is the one that people most commonly know. There's aliens, there's robots, there's dragons in some of the games, there's Godzilla, kaiju monsters. There's a lot of different enemies that they will throw your way, and you have to have different approaches to clearing out these enemies and not getting overwhelmed. So that's the basics of Earth Defense Force. There are nuances when it comes to like weapons and there's 4 different character classes and everything else. But basically that's it. It's a game of insanity. It's a game about scale, where they're going to throw you into these huge, insane battles and say survive. And Earth Defense Force 6 is interesting to me because it picks up right when the 5th game left off, which I know sounds obvious, but if you're a fan of the series, you should know that really they don't do that. There's no continuity per se with the series. They'll reference stuff every once in a while, but basically every game is just a brand new invasion and stuff. But this actually takes place right after 5. At the end of 5, humanity lost, and this game picks up with humanity and like ruins. And it goes from there, and there's some time travel stuff involved, and yeah, like I said, I'm only on mission 23, so I haven't even seen everything the game has to offer in terms of narrative or in terms of like the scale of the battles and stuff. But I can already tell you it's an interesting direction. Earth Defense Force has never been about the story, never. The voice acting is cheesy, the dialogue is really out there sometimes, and a lot of times it's just stupid. That's kind of the charm. It's supposed to be like an old B movie and stuff. So yeah, that's never been the strong suit of the series. It's never been the narrative, but I do think it's interesting that they decided to pick up after 5 and kind of have like an ongoing narrative between 5 and 6. I've already seen some new enemy types. That's been cool. The whole time travel thing has been interesting. The character classes are the same as they've been in the last 2 games. You have the Ranger, which is your basic on foot. You have the Wing Diver, who has a little jetpack and uses energy weapons. You have the Air Raider, who's mainly support and vehicles. And you have the Fencer, who's a big brute that carries like 4 weapons, but he's really slow. And I kind of wish they would have added a new class, but at the same time, the 4 classes they have are so different, and they have such, the weapons and everything between them are so unique, and it's so easy to like play as one and then replay missions as another one and have a whole different experience, that I think it's okay they didn't add a class this time either. But I do kind of wish they did, but I don't know what that class would even be. So what do I know there? I am playing as the Ranger. I played as the Ranger in 5, and I wanted to continue on as the Ranger right now. I might go back and replay as some of the other characters. I've heard that the Air Raider is a lot better in this game than he has been in the previous 2 games, which is good, because the Air Raider is really hard to use on your own. The Air Raider is really meant for like co-op play. So maybe I'll go back and try the Air Raider sometime. Other than that, I mean, it's from a gameplay perspective, it's the same game. It's Earth Defense Force, which, love it or hate it, that's its bread and butter. As just being the same game, crazy game. The scale gets bigger each time. The amount of enemies they throw at you just becomes insane with each game. Overwhelming at times. And that's the fun of the series. And I've been really enjoying Earth Defense Force 6. And there are some other things I want to talk about. I haven't played very much of the multiplayer yet. There's a bit of a controversy right now with this game. If you go to Steam, which is where I bought it, if you go to Steam, there's a lot of people review bombing this game. And the reason they're doing that is because in order to play online, you have to have an Epic account. Now, I don't really care. And I don't want to sound like an asshole when I say this, but I wish people would just shut the fuck up. you don't need an Epic account to play the single-player game. You don't need an Epic account to play local multiplayer. You just need it to play online. And even then, it's not like they're charging you anything. But people are so up in arms about this. And I hate that toxic culture when it comes to games. You know what I do whenever a game upsets me and I don't agree with it, and it does something I don't like? I just don't fucking buy it. That's what I do. And I really don't like that mindset that some people have, that game developers need to, be on hand and knee to them, to what they want, to what they think. I get it if it upsets you, if something about them using Epic and going through that service for the online is upsetting to you. By all means, great. Sorry. But again, review bombing the game because of that seems petty. I mean, and they're gonna get what they want, because the developer Sandlot, they've already talked about the situation that's happening right now, and they're probably gonna remove that. So guess what? Your whining got you what you wanted. I don't like that because that means you're gonna whine even more at everything else. But it is what it is. It doesn't bother me, and I have no real stake in the matter. So if it does bother you, great. I'm sorry. Whatever, man. I just hate the fact that they are getting review bombed when the game itself, the main campaign of the game, is fantastic. It's a great game. It carries on the tradition of just being more Earth Defense Force, but crazier, bigger, badder, whatever. Should you buy it? If you are a dedicated Earth Defense Force fan like me, absolutely. It's definitely worth the time. If you've never played Earth Defense Force, see, that's kind of where I always get caught up, because of course I recommend it because I love the series, but there's a lot of people that this isn't going to be their game. This isn't going to be a game for them. And for those people, I would maybe recommend waiting for a sale, or maybe trying one of the last game, maybe 4.1. I think you could find 4.1 on PS4 for like dirt cheap now, or even 5. Wait till that's on sale or something. Like try one of the other main series titles, not the spin-offs, because the spin-offs are always different, but the main series titles. Try one of those first to see if you really like it. And then if you really like it, 6 would definitely be worth it for you. It's just paying full price for a game like this that is this niche, and then having a bad experience. At least on Steam you can return it. So there's that. That's nice. But yeah, no, I've been absolutely loving Earth Defense Force 6. I'm going to be playing it. I loved the fact that I bought it on the deck here. If I would have gotten it on the PlayStation, I could have gotten it on PlayStation 4, I believe, but I don't know. I mean, I have all the other ones on console, but I don't really play PlayStation 4 that much anymore, and I don't have a PS5, so this was great. Like, whenever you get it on Steam Deck, it does say that it is unsupported, officially unsupported. But if you go onto protondb.com, which is a website that will tell you what games work on Steam Deck and what games don't, I went on there and made sure it worked first, and it said it was platinum, which means it's good to go. And yeah, it works. It works great on my Steam Deck. I've had it crash a couple times. But the game just came out, so maybe they just need to update it or something. Because it crashed and I just got to reload the game. But like I said, that's only happened a few times, and I've played 10 hours and been able to play successfully. Being able to play on a handheld has been great. I love being able to play Earth Defense Force while I'm doing other stuff. It's a great handheld game, and I also dock this with a controller. I have it's in the other room, but I have an 8-bit DOE Pro controller, which I want to do a video on. That works fantastic with the Steam Deck docked. So I dock this to my TV and use that controller and play it fantastic on that that method too. So Steam Deck owners, yes, it works great, and it's a great game to play on your deck, and I would highly recommend it. Yeah, Earth Defense Force 6, I'm loving it. The review will probably happen, I don't even know, what is this? It's August. It could be like next year before I even get around to reviewing it, because there is just so much to play in the game. And I like to be able to really talk about the game and what it offers before I can review it. So that's going to be a while. Like, this is... The EDF games are up there with, like, the Warriors Muso games and stuff, with, like, the amount of content that they pack in. It's a lot. So yeah, it's going to be a bit before I actually review it. But there's my thoughts. It's worth it. People are bitching about stuff I don't care about. Whatever. It's good. Shoot some fucking bugs. Shoot some aliens. Shoot some androids. Time travel. It's great. Earth Defense Force 6. EDF!